तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः.
Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibhiriditam Kalmashāpaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadatatam Bhuigrunanti Ye Bhurida Jana. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and yesterday we started the conversation of Wednesday, October 10, 1883. It is a third day of Durga Puja. Sri Ramakrishna has come to others' house and he sang in praise of Divine Mother, and then the master went to others' drawing room on the second floor and took a seat surrounded by the guests. So he is now amidst guests. Still in a mood of divine fervor, he said, "Gentlemen, I have eaten. Now go and enjoy the feast." So the obvious reference is that Divine Mother was served with food at the time of worship, and she has partaken of that. So that is what Thakur is telling. Now as a prasada, you can all eat the nimantran. That means feast for the invited people. So that is a clear hint. Master Masha says, was the master hinting that the Divine Mother had partaken at others' offering, and he identify himself with the Divine Mother and therefore say, "I have eaten"? Obvious. So now from here we are reading. Here one in the original Bengali, there is one information. It will come, that information. Huh? Okay, when that information comes, we shall read. This among the guests, a name is mentioned in the beginning of the date. Others' friend Sarada. And we have seen that is the Bengali method of cutting. It is not a lady. The name is Sarada Charan. And that Sarada Charan, son had died. And so he is in that afflicted mood. And that is why this other's friend, other had called him, so that he will get some peace in the company of Sri Ramakrishna. That reference will come later on. Then addressing the Divine Mother, he continued. So that is in the bhav. He talks to mother, he talks to devotees. Shall I eat, O mother, or will you eat? Understand this? Now he has eaten already, and now again he is asking, shall I eat or will you eat? So first thing is that past, present and future is washed out in bhav. It has its own past, present and future. Secondly, he is identified with Divine Mother, but he also is a devotee. So, the Divine Mother has to be fed first and then the devotee eats. But the Divine Mother tells him sometimes you eat. During pujas, that used to happen. That he is making the food preparation ready for the Divine Mother. And suddenly says, oh, you want me to eat? And he used to eat himself. So this devotion is not only Raganuga Bhakti, but it has gone beyond, is identified. So sometimes he is the devotee, sometimes he is the Divine Mother. That is avatar. So he is asking, will you eat first? Normal. Or shall I eat either as identified with you or your command that if I am your child, you may ask the child to eat first. So these are all experiential talks. And that is why we are studying the gospel. Read the Master's reflection. Huh? Oh, did you or will you eat, oh mother, the very embodiment of the wine of divine bliss? Karanananda Rupini is the Sanskrit word used. Karanananda Rupini. Now, Karan is wine and Karanananda. So, after drinking wine, being intoxicated in bliss. And that is a form of the mother. But it can have a very different meaning also. And that is surely hinted here. Karan means Jagat Karan. Divine Mother is the Srishti Sthiti Pralaya cause of creation, preservation and destroyer of this world. And that state itself is a blissful state because it is the Satchidananda as Ishwar who creates, preserves and destroys the universe. So that state is a state full of bliss. And so that itself has taken the form of the Divine Mother. And this Rupini goes both ways. Divine Mother has that form or that thing has the form of Divine Mother. So he is addressing Divine Mother like that. It is, I don't think it is only wine. And wine for Thakur also, as soon as he used to hear the word wine, he used to think of the Jagat Karan. So whether he is telling wine, even then he is meaning Jagat Karan. Or the directly meaning is Jagat Karan. And the Jagat Karan Ishwar is a very state of full of bliss. Ishwar is always joyful. Joyfully he kills people, you know that. In the Gita, Vishwarup Darshan, he assumes the destroyer. And then Arjuna says, you are licking at the lips. So, that is joyful. Did the master look on himself as one with the Divine Mother? Had the mother incarnated herself as the son to instruct mankind in the ways of God? Was this why the master said, I have eaten? So, the previous expression, I have eaten, that again comes to M's mind and he explains like this. In that state of divine ecstasy, Sri Ramakrishna saw the 6 centers in his body. So, this divine ecstasy, so many dimensions are there. He says, I've eaten, you eat, then he talks with mother, then he sees the 6 centers in his body. The 6 centers in the body, we have discussed many times perhaps, they are not physical centers. They are physical in a sense subtle. They are located within the spinal cord, within this narrow tube of Sushumna, narrow thread-like tube of Sushumna. We know from within the spinal cord, there are two tubes, you may say, two passages of nerves. And that is known even physiologically. One is called the sensory nerves, one is called the motory nerves. And so sensations from anywhere in the body pass through that, goes to the brain. And then the commands of the brain, you act like that, that is conveyed throughout the body through the other canal. And in between, just the size of a thread, but tube, that is the Sushumna Nadi. And within the Sushumna Nadi are these chakras or lotuses. So it is not a physical size like that. But to the subtle vision, they are seen. And they are also described in the Yoga Shastras as wheel, chakras, Shat Chakra Ved. And in the devotional scriptures or in tantras, they are lotuses. Similar things, but they are described in two different ways according to the vision of the sadhak. So he is seeing that in the divine ecstasy, and the Divine Mother dwelling in them. So that is the Tantra view. Divine Mother dwells in the lowest three when she is sleeping, that Kundalini power. And when it wakes, it comes to the fourth, fifth, sixth. In the sixth, there is a vision of God, but not touched, some obstruction. And then that breaks and it goes to meet Shiva in the Sahasrara. So he is singing about that now. He sang a song to that effect. Again he sang. So this very song, in English what they have done, they have not given this song. They said, so he sang like that. And the next song is given. Perhaps that is technical, allegorical. The description is that you see, there are two things. Very, anyway, not given in English. He sang a song to that effect. Again he sang. So next song. My mood is overwhelmed with wonder. This also, those who understand Bengali, it is better I read in Bengali. It is greatly bhav-yukta. Bhav ki bhebe paran gelo, jar name হবে কাল, যার নামে হবে কাল, হরে, আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, যার নামে হরে কাল, পদে মহাকাল, তার কেন কালো রূপ হলো? কালো রূপ অনেক আছে, এ বড় আশ্চর্য কালো। যারে হৃদি মাঝে রাখলে পরে হৃদ পদ্ম করে আলো। রূপে কালী, নামে কালী, কাল হতে অধিক কালো। ও রূপ যে দেখেছে সে মেজে চেয়ে अन्य रूप लागे ना भालो प्रसाद बोले कुतूहले एमन मेये कोथाय छिलो ना देखे नाम शुने ना देखे नाम शुने काने मन गिये तार लिप्त हलो My mind is overwhelmed with wonder, pondering the mother's mystery. Her very name removes the fear of Kala, death himself. Beneath her feet lies Mahakala. We have described this several times that Kali was the combined power of all the gods, rather all the goddesses. Some demon has become very difficult to conquer. So all the gods or the corresponding goddesses gave their power and made one new form. That is Kali.
Kali. Oh.
And she killed that asura. Now, because she killed, she filled with that killer instinct. And in that terrible killer instinct, she is dancing in the crematorium. And all the gods and goddesses are afraid to approach her. Who will stop that killer mood? So Shiva said, all right. He, without letting her know, he went into that cremation ground, not crematorium, cremation ground, and lay just flat. Now she, while dancing, she is not aware of what is there. So she suddenly climbs her chest, his chest, and then understands that what I have done. And she looks in Shiva's eyes, and Shiva is intently looking at her. And then she suddenly feels shyness, wonder, strange. So we see her protruding the tongue. That is due to feeling of shyness and wonder. So, and that cooled her down. So the description of Shiva lying at her feet is like this. And Shiva is Mahakal. Mahakal means the great destroyer. Kal literally means time, and time means destroyer. Why should her you be Kala, black? Many the forms of black, but she appears astoundingly black. Black are many things in this world, but her blackness is different. When contemplated in the heart, she lights the lotus that blossoms there. So black, but color, but light in black. And so that black, when meditated upon, sheds light to the heart. Wisdom comes, that is the light. Her form is black, and she is named Kali, the black one. Blacker than black is she. That means absolutely black. Beholding her, man is bewitched for evermore. No other form can he enjoy. So that is the black, which if man sees, he will not like any other form. Black beauty. Black illumined beauty. In wonderment asked Ramprasad. Ramprasad we know is the devotional poet of Kali. Where dwells this woman so amazing? At her mere name, his mind becomes at once absorbed in her. Ramprasad's own mind, as he takes the name, becomes absorbed in her, though he has never yet beheld her. He has not seen the full form, but the very name intoxicates him. The fear of the devotees flies away if they but ask shelter at the feet of the Divine Mother. Was that why the master sang the following song? So, next song. And this perhaps is all for removing the sorrow of Sarada Charan. I have surrendered Abhay Pada Pran Sopechi, Ami Arki Jomer Bhai Rekechi. In Bengali, only 2 lines are given because elsewhere that is much line given. So in English, we are getting full. You see why this happens? You understand?
What?
In English, it is full. Here in Bengali, only 2 lines.
It was published separately.
In Bengali, it was published in 5 volumes. Within each volume, there is chronology, but 5 volumes are not chronological. And in English, everything has been made chronological. So this song in some other volume has already come according to Bengali. That's why here given here only 2 lines. And English has picked up from there because in English this is first time coming. I have surrendered my soul at the fearless feet of the mother. Am I afraid of death anymore? If you become immortal by thinking of God, then death only means dropping of the body. And though there is no fear of death, because I will not die, my body will go away. So that is the reason. Not that what can death do to me? Death cannot do to your nature. Death will kill the body. So we should not expect the bodily immortality because I have taken the name of Kali. But our consciousness will shift from body to soul, the real nature. And so there is no death for the real nature. That is why again and again these Kalis, Abhaya and all that come. Fearless. Unto the tuft hair on my head is tied the almighty mantra, Mother Kali's name. Mother Kali's name is the mantra and it has all power. So it is all powerful. Almighty. My body has sold in the marketplace of the world and with it have brought Shri Durga's name. So losing the body consciousness only is the way to get her name. Or with the help of her name, you lose your body consciousness. So he says, I have sold my body. He possesses the body, but body consciousness is not there. Deep within my... So these songs are not just to be sung. We must appreciate the bhav within each line. Deep within my heart, I have planted the name of Kali. So this name is not only to be uttered by the tongue. It has to be understood or felt in the, what we say, the very core of my heart. Heart is the place where I experience. I have genuine feelings. So that reminds me of the incident perhaps I told once. There was a young Swami from Kerala. And the name, as much as I remember, was Nityasthananda. A young man of 30, 35. And he had taken some leave from his center and was traveling to many centers in India. And he had come to Nagpur for 2 or 3 days. And he was shy. He wanted to have heart-to-heart talks with my Guruji, but that had not happened due to his shyness. On the day of his departure, he told this to one of our Swamis. Then that Swami conveyed it to my Guruji. And I called him. Now the situation you visualize today is not there. Huh? The old temple was a two-storied structure. Two-storied means one story of two-story height. And that had become a two-storied building. Above the temple itself is two-storied. Then in front of the temple shrine there is a veranda, backside there is a veranda, and on the side there is a hall and another room and full verandas. Above that, two verandas, back and front, and that kalasha is closed by doors and windows. That was the situation. And in the front veranda, they were walking and talking together. And when the talk becomes hot, you may say, they stood instead of walking. My Guruji's face to the gate side, outside, and his back to that side. And there was a parapet wall. It is not very high nor very small. And he was wearing canvas shoes because he was ready to go. And what happened? Nobody could know. He fell down. In front of the shrine, veranda, and after the veranda, one stone that is like a half step. And he fell down headlong, head on that stone. And it splat immediately. And it was about Arti time. So we were all sitting around. When the conch shell will go, we'll sit inside like that. So we rushed, lifted him, and called the doctor. Doctor came within 5 minutes. And he said, immediately take him to the hospital. There is a mini hemorrhage. So within 15 to 20 minutes, we took him to government hospital. There all doctors obliged. Immediately they came and he was in a coma. So they started their treatment and said, we cannot do anything now, we have to observe only. Secondary infection should not come, this or that. So they started. After 3 days perhaps, or 10 days, I don't remember, a secondary hemorrhage took place inside. See, doctor said, we have no hopes now. And that was after 10 days. Now he lost consciousness. And consciousness has levels. So when a little consciousness arose, he was muttering something in the lips. No, he was from Kerala. And most of the nurses are from Kerala, at least in Nagpur. So some nurses were told to put their ears to his lips to understand what he's talking. Now they heard ka, so they say he wants coffee. There was no point in giving coffee. Then the consciousness level increased a little. And then he felt pain. And he started shouting. What was he shouting? His Ishta mantra. And in that Ishta mantra, the bij was clean. That was the ka which they heard and said coffee. She was loudly shouting, Om Klim Ramakrishna and all like that. And it made him tired, gloomy. So again the consciousness level went down. And again only lips muttering. This went on for 8 or 10 days. And so the whole hospital had become like a place of pilgrimage. After 10 days, the secondary hemorrhage took place. The senior doctor said nothing to be done now, but 3 junior doctors, one was our hostel student and 2 were his friends. So they asked the senior doctors that you have taught us some medicine. He said, okay, you can try that. So they tried that medicine for 3 days. Then after 13 days, he passed away. So somebody was telling he could have died in the ashram, but he had made the whole thing more than an ashram. So I am narrating this to share you. And he was a young man of 30, 35. So how much deep the mantra can go? That in an unconscious state, he is muttering the mantra. So mantra is not only to be by the lips. That is what is described here. Understood? My body I have sold in marketplace. Deep within my heart is the expression. Na? So how deep? Deep within my heart I have planted the name of Kali, the wish fulfilling tree of heaven. In heaven, there is a wish fulfilling tree, Kalpataru. And whatever wish comes to the mind or one utters, lying below, that is fulfilled. So Kali is being compared to that. When Yama, king of death, appears, to him I shall open my heart and show it growing there, that tree. I have cast out from me any 6 unflagging foes. 6 foes? You know that the 6 passions, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madamats. Desire or lust, anger, greed, delusion, intoxicated by ego, and jealousy. Unflagging, they generally don't go. But I have cast out from me, because of that Kali's name. Ready am I to sail like sea, crying to Durga victory. Now here again Sarada comes. We should read it as Sarada Charan. Sharada was stricken with grief on account of his son's death. Here that topic is introduced. So other had taken him to Dakshineshwar to visit the master. Now, it is some previous incident that is being described because the whole thing is happening in other's house, not Dakshineshwar. So, is it Master Masha's mistake or reference to some previous thing? Sarada was a devotee of Sri Chaitanya. Sri Ramakrishna looked at him and was inspired with the ideal of Gauranga Chaitanya, whose complexion is fair, so Gauranga. So, seeing the devotee, he was inspired by that spirit and he sang, addressing Chaitanya. Up to now, you are singing of Mother. And in him, there is total absolute harmony. He does not see any difference between this God's form and that God's form. So seamlessly, he can shift from there to there. He sang, why has my body turned so golden? It is not time for this to be. You understand? Krishna is singing.
Oh.
and it has time to pass means he will be reborn as Chaitanya. Then this will happen.
Oh.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is conceived as Radha and Krishna in one. Krishna wanted to know how Radha enjoys the bliss of his company. And so he was born inside Krishna, outside Radha. So Radha's complexion is golden hue. And in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because outside is Radha. But in Krishna, if he thinks of Radha, then it will become golden. That is a simile. Here it is described. Brahmara is the bee. Bee is not golden, bee is black. But that caterpillar, when he is afraid of bee and continuously thinks of bee, so it becomes bee. So because Krishna is thinking of Radha, that color has come to him. That is the allegory. Don't think of black and thinking of Brahma, it becomes like Brahma. Thinking of Radha, it becomes like Radha. And that will happen when he becomes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, understand, why has my body turned so golden? It is not time for this to be. Many the ages that must pass before as Gauranga appear. Here in the age of Dwapara, so traditionally in India, we count ages as Treta, Satya, Dwapar, Kali. So Krishna was born in Dwapar and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be born in Kali Yuga. So age has to change. Many the ages that must pass. Now many the ages means not counting these four. Ages means when the man's mind changes, it is the age. As we say now, scientific age. Before as Gauranga appear, here in the age of Dwapara, my sport is not yet at an end. How strange this transformation is. So in the spirit of Chaitanya, Thakur is singing this song. Now this song is related to Chaitanya. Now Chaitanya is both Krishna and Radha. So Chaitanya is thinking of himself as Krishna and singing, like that is the idea. Because how he knows he will be born again. So Chaitanya is singing. But here Loya Ashiya Chen. Not Ashiya Chilen, Ge Chilen. So there is some slip somewhere. Anyway, we'll continue with the spirit. It's a big song. The peacock glistens all of gold, and golden too the cuckoo gleams. Everything becomes golden because Krishna is thinking of Radha. Everything around me here has turned to gold. Naught else appears. But gold, whichever way I look, what can it mean? This miracle that everything I see is gold. I can guess its meaning now. Radha has come to Mathura. This is all happening in poet's mind or referring to Gauranga. Because Gopis and Radha, they were in Vrindavan. And Mathura was the Kamsa's place where Krishna shifted. But Gopis once did go to Mathura, according to this story. So Radha has come to Mathura. Meaning is that in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is a combined incarnation. Radha has come to Mathura, and that is why my skin is gold. For she is like the Brahmara, bee. And so has given me her hue. So, no black, her hue she has given. Dark blue my body was, but now, yet in the twinkling of an eye, it turned to gold. How I become Radha? By contemplating her. So this all related to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He remembers his past, he remembers his present inside his Krishna. I cannot imagine where I am in Mathura or Navadvip. So Navadvip is the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when he thinks of himself as Krishna, he finds himself in Mathura. Otherwise, he is in Navadvip. But how could this have come to pass? Not yet is Balarama born as Nitai, nor has Narada become Shrivas. So, Nitai was like a brother to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Balaram was the actual elder brother of Krishna. So, he is born as Nitai, not yet. And Narada becomes Shrivas. So, associate of Krishna is Narada. And associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Shrivas. In Shrivas's house compound, Krishna, Chaitanya used to dance. Nor Yashoda as mother Shachi yet returned. Yashoda, Krishna's foster mother, she will return to this earth as Shachi, Chaitanya's mother. Then why should I among them all alone assume a golden face? Not yet his father Nanda born as Jagannath. That is Chaitanya's father. Then why should I be thus transformed into gold? Perhaps because in Mathura, sweet Radha has appeared, my skin has borrowed Gauranga's golden hue. So, is fully in Gauranga's spirit, he is singing. Sri Ramakrishna sang again, still overpowered with the ideal of Gauranga, because Sarada Charan is a worshipper of Gauranga. Surely, Gauranga is lost in a state of blissful ecstasy. In an exuberance of joy, he laughs and weeps and dances and sings. So this weeping is not sorrow. Huh? Out of excessive joy, tears come. He takes a wood for Vrinda. Wood means forest. Huh? He is in Jagannath Puri. And there is a forest. So he thinks that is Vrindavan. The Ganges for the blue Yamuna. We used to think of some ocean as Yamuna, because Yamuna is black in color. Ganges is white in color. Suraduni deke Sharmunda Bhave. So where was it at that time? In Puri, there is no Ganga. Na?
Maybe in Navadvip. Navadvip.
Navadvip. Ah, yes. He said Mathura or Navadvip. So some forest in Navadvip. Loudly he sobs and weeps. Yet Though he is all gold without, he is all black within, black with the blackness of Krishna. He sobs and weeps. That is Radha pining for Krishna. The master continued to sing, assuming the attitude of a woman devotee infatuated with love for Gauranga. Now, Kalicharan is a devotee of Gauranga. So, master sang in Chaitanya's mood, and now he sings as a devotee. Why do my neighbors raise such a scandal? Why do they cast aspersions upon me? Simply because of Gauranga? How can they understand my feelings? How can I ever explain? Can I ever explain at all? Alas, to whom shall I explain it? But they make me die of shame. Once on a time, at the house of Srinivas, Gora was loudly singing the kirtan when on the ground of the courtyard, falling, he rolled in an ecstasy. I, who was standing near him, seeing him where he lay entranced. I, seeing him entranced, was suddenly lost to outward sense until the wife of Srinivas revived me. Another day, in the Bhaktas procession, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to carry out a procession throughout the city, loudly chanting the name of Hari. Gora was sweetly singing the kirtan, clasping the outcast to him. So that was another quality of Gauranga, that he removed the sense of caste from the minds of the devotees. He softened the unbelievers' hearts through Nadia's market. Nadia is short form for Navadvip. Through Nadia's marketplace, he chanted Lord Hari's holy name. I followed the throng and from close by caught a glimpse of his golden feet. So he's walking amid the crowd, but she caught a glimpse of the golden feet. Once by the Ganges bank, this is all Navadvip. Once by the Ganges bank he stood, his body bright as the sun and moon. Sun and moon, bright as the sun, but cool like the moon. Charming all with his beauty, I too had come to fetch some water, and as I looked from one side, my water jar slipped and fell to the ground. My sister-in-law, the gossip, saw me. Gossip means personified gossip. So sister-in-law, the gossip, saw me, and now she is spreading it everywhere. So totally lost in the mood of a woman devotee of Chaitanya. Balaram's father was a Vaishnava. Hence the master also sang of the divines of the gopis for their beloved Krishna. So this Vaishnava is not post-Gauranga. He is a devotee of Krishna. Krishna is identified with Vishnu. I have not found my Krishna. Oh friend, how cheerless my home without him. If Krishna could only be the hair upon my head. This is Gopi song. Carefully I should braid it then and deck it with bakul flowers. Bakul, white flowers. Mother's ghat is called bakul dala. Carefully I should fashion the braids out of my Krishna hair. Hair is black, Krishna is black, so Krishna hair. Krishna is black and black is my hair. Black would be one with black. If Krishna could only be the ring I wear in my nose. Fantasy. Huh? Always from my nose he would hang, and my two lips could touch him. This is wow. Huh? But it can never be, alas. Why should I idly dream? Why should Krishna care at all to be the ring in my nose? If Krishna could only be the bracelet on my arms, always he could cling to my wrist, and proudly I should walk, shaking my bracelets to make them sound, shaking my arms to show them. Down the King's Highway I should walk, wearing my Krishna bracelets. Swamiji sang this song toward the end of the gospel.
Oh.
Balaram's father was a wealthy man with estates in different parts of Orissa. An orthodox member of the Vaishnava sect, he had built temples and arranged for distribution of food to the pilgrims at various holy places. He had been spending the last years of his life in Vrindavan. The Vaishnavas, for the most part, are bigoted in their religious views. Some of them harbor malicious feelings toward the followers of the Tantra and Vedanta. But Sri Ramakrishna never encouraged such a narrow outlook. According to his teachings, through earnestness and yearning, all lovers of God will ultimately reach the same goal, including Vedantism. The master began the conversation in order to broaden the religious views of Balaram's father. Master to M is talking indirectly. Once I thought, why should I be one sided? Sir, this is the indirect way.
Hmm.
He's not telling directly you should not do like that. Therefore, I was initiated into Vaishnavism in Vrindavan and took the garb of a Vaishnava monk. I spent 3 days practicing the Vaishnava's discipline. Again at Dakshineshwar, I was initiated into the mystery of Rama worship. I painted my forehead with a long mark and put on a string with a diamond around my neck. But after a few days, I gave them up, transcended them. A certain man had a tap. That is Thakur himself. Huh?
Hmm.
People would come to him. This is a beautiful way of broadening anybody. People would come to him to have their clothes dyed. The tub contained a solution of dye. Whatever color a man wanted for his cloth, he would get by dipping the cloth in that tub. One man was amazed to see this and said to the dyer, please give me the dye you have in your tub. That we equated with Vivekananda. They wanted Swarupa. But the man who is doing that is ready to give every color. Was the master hinting that people professing different religions would come to him and have their spiritual consciousness awakened according to their own ideals? Yes, that is the hint. Master to Balram's father. Don't read books anymore, but you may read books on devotion, such as the life of Chaitanya. So he's bringing towards Chaitanya. They have skipped 2 paragraphs. Sometimes because the stories are repeated, they might be talking. We are not reading in the abstract, that average edition. Na? That is the story of the chameleon. Anyway, it is not in English. Huh? But you may read books on devotion such as the life of Chaitanya. Chaitanya Charitamrita. Huh? The reading scatters the mind. That is why I don't read. The whole thing is to love God and taste His sweetness. His sweetness and the devotee is its enjoyer. The devotee drinks the sweet bliss of God. Further, God is the lotus and the devotee the bee. The devotee sips the honey of the lotus. Essence. As a devotee cannot live without God, so also God cannot live without his devotee. Read it on Monday. Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadaatatam Bhuigrananti Ye Bhurida Jana Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Next.